I tell y'all, you take off 2 months, 3 months basically from anything, and what happens is everything feels like it's falling apart. But what's good in the web? Your man Q, aka the Geek, back again, and I legit had this Thursday's video already written down and planned, and well, not this video, but a video that I was going to be doing, which I just pushed back. It was talking about what? Where's my list at? It was talking about, so this is the Nintendo Switch, and I was gonna talk about, you know, the Nintendo Switch, and damn, it's kind of warm. And, you know, how I, you know, what my enjoyment with it, and I'm one of those people who, I'm not angry about the Nintendo Switch. I'm actually thankful I bought a Nintendo Switch. Why am I thankful I bought a Nintendo Switch? Mainly because of the fact, well, I know it's going to be hard to get. And I waited for the PlayStation 5. And I waited for the PlayStation 5 for 2 years. What, it came out 2020? I didn't get it until 2022. And then I had to go to like a semi-extreme manner in order to get it. So shout out to my mom's, because she's the Amazon and QVC HSN queen, and she was like, you can find it there. I'm like, you can't find no PlayStation 5. They ain't got no PlayStation 5 at no QVC. Well, guess what? They had PlayStation 5 at QVC. I did have to pay an extra, you know, amount of money for it. You know, like I think it was like an extra $100 or something like that, $150 off on the price. But what was great about it is I was able to finance it, and you know, that always helps the credit, as well as I got the PlayStation 5 then on 2022 for my birthday. But the video's not going to be about the Nintendo Switch. I decided that since y'all ain't seen my face in 125 years, at least, well, it's been a minute. I ain't gonna say it's 125 years. Let me fix this light, because a lot has been going on. Just life in general stuff. Nothing bad. Some good stuff. Some bad stuff. Some life stuff. You know, that's how life go. You know, you living. You gonna go through some things. So I just wanted to chop it up with y'all on some of the things that I have been doing, because of the fact, well, it's been such a long time. I'm trying to fix the light. I'm not texting. I'm trying to fix the light. So I have upgraded the lights and downgraded in some lights, like my ring light. The way the ring light used to be, it was right in front of my face in my old place. And what would happen is it would just shine right in my eyes. I ended up getting these, Target had these, what are they called? Those Govee lights. I don't know if you're able to see this on the thing. It's kind of like that. Those Govee lights. So I ended up getting 2 of those. I think they were like $22 a piece. They was like 70, and then they cut it all the way down to like $22. So I picked up 2. Ooh, shoot. I'm gonna say about like right when I was getting ready to move. So this is in the beginning of June, end of May. And I just end up installing them when I got to place. So I'm about 86% of fixing and doing my place the way I want to. What happened with that was I ended up moving into a smaller place, but I'm thankful, because for me being out here in LA still, the rent is pretty nice. It ain't that bad. It's manageable. So that's what's great about it. So where is the thing with the, where is it? Can I? Yes, you can. Yeah, here it is. Let me brighten it up. There we go, a little bit, because I had that blue tint a little bit on me. So I moved in early June. I think I did an announcement. I told y'all, I think, but I still kind of been here, there, and everywhere when it comes to content, and I really felt bad about that. Not only did I miss talking about the Switch when it dropped on June 5th, which, you know, I got that, which you just seen. Expedition 33, just so many anime, so many games, so much stuff that I just felt like it took me a minute, honestly, to get not the courage, but the what do you want to call it, to get the drive back to make content. And it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. You be gone for so long, it's kind of like you have to mentally prepare yourself sometime for the hustle and grind of what content is. So I wanted to tell y'all about, I got my little plan here about what I have been doing and everything that I have been doing. And again, yeah, I moved because I wanted to be closer to my jobs, and the old place that I was at basically got new ownership. So I was like, they about to let folks go, so let me go before I gotta go. So I'm still in LA, which is great. Still doing my gigs and everything that I be doing. Gotta pay the rent, but the content is still one of, I'm not gonna say it's my dream, but it's still one of my goals and ambitions to become a full-time content creator. And my dream is still to make RPG series plural, and they have featured African American male and female protagonists, because it's a lot of female protagonists. I ain't gonna say a lot, but there's more female protagonists in the RPGs, black female protagonists, than there are males. We'll never see a Final Fantasy a protagonist, a brother. Yeah, you tell me why, what, or you ain't got to tell me. So that's what made me want to decide years ago. I was like, you know what, I need to make this. So with the new place, I'm in different resources, and I have a different space and an atmosphere where it allows me to be more creative. So I'm just like, let me get on it. And so here we are. So I said, let me just jump in and do a just chatting, and just chop it up with y'all about what's been going on and how that's been going. Everything else, and then with IRL, with work and other things. Health is good, thankfully. I think I gained 4 pounds. I had lost some weight, but I gained 4 pounds because what happened was I have been in the process of moving. I just have been eating BS, to be honest with you, because I didn't want to cook, or what the place I have is, like I said, it's a smaller place. So what happened was, for a couple weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks, I just had shit everywhere. And again, you don't know how much you have until you gotta move it. And then I moved it. I had to go get a storage because I have so much extra stuff. Like, I'm still trying to squeeze or maneuver. I have like a 40, 50 gallon fish aquarium that I'm trying to squeeze in here. And I just ordered a new bed, because the bed I have is cool, but I want to maximize space. So I'm going to get me like one of these loft type beds or whatever thing. So it's not a bunk bed, but it's a loft bed. And then I'm going to set my setup and stuff in that. So then it'll give me an extra amount of space where I can finally drop down my little projector and the screen and stuff, and kind of, it won't be the same aesthetic as I had it in my old place. But there are new amenities here that I didn't have at the old place, like a parking garage and AC and a ceiling flat fan. For those of y'all who've been following me for years, remember I was always sweating with the damn oldies in my old place and had to have 4 or 5 fans on and all kind of stuff. So I'm blessed with that, and I'm excited to get this new bed and fix this up. And I got my little bathroom, and I got that little African theme that I'm going on in my bathroom. My mom's is giving me some like actual plants. So I think she gave me, what is it, one of those silver dollar plants, a spider plant, and another plant. So she's like the green thumb lady and stuff. So she gave me some plants and stuff to brighten up and liven up some stuff. I still want to get a bonsai tree. The last bonsai tree I had, I killed it, and I think I overwatered it, and I just didn't really take my time. I was trying to be like Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop, for those y'all who know about Cowboy Bebop from Tsunami days. I was trying to do that, but what had happened was, well, I killed it. So it's a lot of things that I do want to discuss. Like I said, I had to write them down so that way I won't overextend the conversation. However, this is just a chatting and a just vlog type of situation. I did write down what I've been doing and what I've been playing since then. Oh, and like I was saying, because I had so much stuff in my kitchen and everywhere, it was just easy for me to go get some Wingstop. They had them 20, they still got it. Them 20 wings for $20. I think that's a summer sale. And then they had that the Mexican street corn flavor. It's got that little spice, but it's got that little hit. And you know, I like my wings fried hard. So that's a lot better for the 20 piece that was around 33 bucks. That's crazy work. So when they had the $20 one, you know, I probably that's the 4 pounds right there on it. As far as health things go, like I said, I'm in relatively good health. I'm trying to get back to my weight that I want to do, which is 185. So I'm like 14 pounds away from there. Like I said, I was 10, but I just gained 4 pounds within the last, which is still not bad since the last time you seen me, which is in end of May, June, when I did a Geek News. I can't remember the last time I like actually vlogged, or just, I'm gonna start using just chatting. So what I am going to do with these is, I'm not going to do this all the time. I'm going to make my vlogging appearance channel update quarterly. So if we're doing it in August, then the next time y'all see a video like this, I don't want to oversaturate the market. I've done that with some videos, and guess what? It didn't work out right. But this is going to give you guys a basis, and you know, for me, what's going on and how I'm seeing things and what I want to see in the future. So it'll be in November. So in the fall, like the fall, winter is like my favorite seasons anyway. So it's going to be around that time, and then I'll discuss what I'm playing, what I'm doing, how life's treating me. Did I get married? Did I have 5 kids? The answer is no. I'm still looking for my Tifa, the sister Tifa with the natural. She out there. I'm gonna find her, or she gonna find me, and then she's gonna lock my heart, and then we'll make each other happy. But all jokes aside, what I have been playing lately is, I hadn't been playing a lot of things. The only game I really sunk my teeth into and went kind of bananas with, not Donkey Kong. I do want to get Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I'm still mixed because when am I gonna play it? And from what I've seen, and I did go, like when I was going shopping to get some stuff at Target, what happened was I played the demo a little bit and I like it, I want it, but do I want to pay $77 California state taxes for it? And then it just sits on the shelf like it's Sparkling Zero did, which Sparkling Zero was a cool game. I didn't beat Vegeta. And the reason why I didn't beat Vegeta wasn't that it was overly hard. It was just that I was doing other shit. I was in the process of moving and looking for a place and doing other stuff. So I ended up flipping the game for something else. I sold it on eBay, which I also ended up selling Unicorn Overlord, and I'm disappointed that I did. One of my homegirls was really raving about it and was explaining how great it is. Now, one of my homies, he just sent me a text earlier. I was at work and he's like, bro, it's $27 on PSN. Get it. And he was explaining stuff about it for me, and it would fit perfectly. I don't have the game here anymore, Stella Deus, but it would fit perfect because, which I'm gonna talk about later, for the archives, I don't have enough, which I thought I did, but I don't have enough strategy-based games to fill up that time slot. But we're gonna get to that later. So, other than Claire Obscure Expedition, which I love the music, I love the battle system, although it was one thing I wish they could do in the battle system, which could have made it one of the best battle systems, well, 2 things actually, that I've ever seen. Let me swap out my characters, Final Fantasy X style, where I'm able to flip the characters and bring one in after the other. And then secondly, I didn't need both a parry and a dodge. How about let me give me a block where I can just, each character has their own thing. I'm doing the X-Men. Each character has their own thing where they can block, or I never freeze. Wakanda Forever. R.I.P. Chadwick, and Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Kobe. This looks like the world just went to assery, like right when Kobe passed. It's crazy work. But after I beat Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I was looking for other games to play, and I had been starting to work on building up the library again for archives, so then I won't have gaps in between. There's bit my tongue. In between times, so I already stay ready, so I ain't gotta get ready. So since that, and because of that, I've been playing Xenogears, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, because that's the beginning one. If I'm going to put any Zelda, which you know the video, I did it, I'll link it somewhere. Zelda, in my opinion, is an RPG. I'm not going to explain it all here. I'll put it in one of these places, or in the link below, if you want to see that video, of my opinion, why Zelda is an RPG. But I wanted to go and start it from the beginning of the whole, reincarnation of Zelda as from the Hyrulean blood thing. I'm not going to go through the whole thing just in case you don't know the whole story. But I want to get that gameplay and put it on the archives eventually. Valkyrie Profile, which is one of my favorite games, and I didn't realize how great the game was. Well, yes, I did. But how above and beyond time the game was until I replayed it. I'm like, damn, this game came out in 1999, 2000 for a PlayStation 1 with voice acting? Like, solid dialogue? Really good voice acting for back in the day when they didn't even have voice acting like that? Like, fully? It was probably killing the damn PlayStation. If I remember, especially if you had that old gray PlayStation, not the PS1, it probably was humming like an old washing machine. Breath of Fire 4, I picked that up on GOG, and I'm waiting to start playing that. I had a group of folks, I think they're still playing it, from a podcast I go to, and they all were playing Breath of Fire 4, and I never played 4. I played 1. I didn't beat 1 or 2, but I played both of those for Super Nintendo. And then 3, I really enjoyed 3. And then I had 4, but 4 got stolen, so I didn't get a chance to beat it. So I do have that one, and so that one's queued up and waiting for me to eventually play, but I just wrote it down here on the list. Of course, Mario Kart World. That's the only game I have to switch to because of the fact, well, I can get briefly into this and then I'll save that for like maybe next week or another week's video when I'll go into depth and talk more about my impressions in the Switch 2 and the X, Y, and Z, and everybody crying about the key cards. And man, one of my homegirls got attacked on one of her videos because she brought up her opinion about the key cards. I don't really have the same opinion about the key cards. I'll briefly talk about that. I don't really have the same thing about the key cards. I kind of gave up the ghost a little bit when it came to digital games and key cards and other things. And just like, I love physical games, but if I want to keep on being a gamer, if I want to keep on playing games, well, guess what? I'm going to have to roll with the punches. The only way we really can vote is with our dollars. So, if you don't vote, don't complain. So if you don't buy it, then shut up. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. That's kind of like what my opinion has become with a lot of things. Old man gamer, I've gotten to that level that if I don't want it, if I don't like it, I'm not buying it. That even go for people. If I ain't messing with you, I ain't rocking with you, I ain't rocking with you. I'm not gonna play cake, and I'm not gonna play around and, hey buddy, what's up, man? I'm just done. I ain't messing with you. And that's the same way I do with certain things. But I'm gonna continue. I give up the ghost. I really believe I'm always gonna be a gamer, even if I have to go back and play old games and anime and the whole geekdom. I remember, this is a short memory lane story, but I remember when I was 16 years old and I was sitting on the edge of my bed playing with action figures. I remember thinking to myself then, and this was in the 90s, and I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to not collect figures or play games or something. And I think then that's when I accepted that form of myself. But it wasn't until later on in life when I hit like 30 when I really didn't give a damn about what anybody. I said that very aggressive. I didn't give a damn because I used to hide that shit. I used to literally hide it because you know, I love me some sisters. I love women in general, but I love me some sisters. And a lot of times back in the day, sisters didn't put you if you was playing games and watching anime, and especially if you playing those reading games. You know, I wasn't on Madden or Call of Duty, but that was before Call of Duty was big. I wasn't on with SOCOM or anything like that. I liked it, the games that immersed me, which I still do, into a whole nother world. And when I played it, I felt that I was in the point of view of those characters and those stories, which is like a natural high for me. And that's why I'm always seeking and searching out different stories, whether it's in games or it's in anime. But at one point in time, I remember one of my old homies, he came to one of my old houses I was living. I used to live in Hawthorne out here in LA. It's like a city within a city, you know, LA is big. And he came to my spot and he was like, bro, you ain't gonna, them females ain't gonna like it because you got all this anime in your system set up, and then they can leave. And around that time, I was just like, then that's just a part of me. So I love the reinvention of myself and how we as humans can reinvent ourselves, just learning and living and going on with life. And I'm not going to get overly philosophical. That's just, you know, experience and how things go. As far as what I've been watching, since I moved and I've been packing stuff up, and I got like a little TV in the bathroom. I got like a little 32-inch or something I put in there. So I got the Crunchyroll and I got, you know, the Netflix. I got all the little stuff, the amenities hooked up. So wherever I'm at, whether it's the TV, it's the computer, or it's in the bathroom, I'm just sitting there relaxed. So also because on my other place, I just had a shower. So now I have a shower and a tub. So give me a little Epsom salt after a hard day. Like my little incense. I did leave the beer alone. Get my little wines, my little red wines. And I just sit back and I can watch me some anime, you know, for a minute and just let all the stress away. So I have been watching a lot of anime because I can just throw that on in the back and I don't really have to sit and play forever. Because one thing about when you're playing a game can be a time sink. And it's a gift and a curse at sometimes. And now I chalk up to all my gameplay, which we'll get that later, but I chalk up all my gameplay as work for also doing, you know, the archives and using that content for, content for other videos and things. So I'm gonna run down this list a little bit because I'm probably only gonna talk about one or two in depth briefly because of the fact it's a lot of anime, or maybe 10, at least 11 things. Shield Hero. I was surprised about how great Shield Hero was, and I like the take of, even with games, and I think that's why Claire Expedition, or Expedition 33, I'm just gonna call it Expedition 33. Expedition 33, like, took a different stance with a lot of people. And the same thing with Shield Hero, and the same thing with another one of the animes. I didn't like it first, but I started watching, and now I'm really enjoying it. Kaiju number 8. As a grown-ass man, I like to see how the point of view and world perspective is when it comes to these adult characters. Like, I forgot his name, but the main dude off of Kaiju number 8, he's 30 years old, 32 or 30 years old, and they always clown him how old he is, but he's actually out here living his dream, and he's trying to stand by the side of his childhood sweetheart slash best friend who he saved a long time ago, and now she's like the captain and the most popular of the people. Of course, it's got its cheesy things, like everything is, you can feel some of the elements where they took other things from it, but then again, no story under the sun this star is really new. It's just how you maneuver it, and I like the way how they maneuver it. And one of the ways is by making a grown man protagonist. And on Shield Hero, the main hero, actually hero, is 21, 20, which is still better than being that 14, 15, 16-year-old person, you know, because I can't, sometimes I can't. I'll watch it, but sometimes I get irritated with, which is the one I've been watching. It's, where is the hell of it? It's, well, I restarted Fairy Tail, been watching Brotherhood again. That's Full Belt Apple's Brotherhood. That's my favorite anime. Been rewatching that. Of course, one of my other favorites, might be in my top 3 now, is Attack on Titan. I've been rewatching Attack on Titan. At first, I didn't like season 2 so much, but season 2 might be my favorite season. And then, of course, some of the beginning parts of season 3, or in the midst of season 3, when you find out who's who and what's what, and then they go back to some of the situations. Overlord, I started, that was suggested for me. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in. I gotta go back to that. It's pretty good. Where is that one? Trigun, I restarted watching Trigun again. Reincarnation of the Seventh Prince. I just did a video yesterday talking about that. And I just can't get over Lloyd's shiny thighs. It make me feel uncomfortable. That's a grown ass man in a 10-year-old boy's body who looks like a little girl. And I don't really understand why. Even if I get it, I don't understand. I like the art and I like the concept, but maybe one year, one day, 1 month, I'll go back and watch it. Maybe they masculine him up a little bit, put a little testosterone in his back. Pause. Do something to help him out. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, that's what it's called. The Fruit of Evolution. And I've been watching a lot of isekai animes lately. You know, going to a whole nother world or being reincarnated in something. I guess because it's on my queue. You know how Crunchyroll and Netflix and all this stuff is. If you watch in Hulu, and if you watch one thing, what'll happen is they'll just keep on suggesting other things like that to you. But this one is damn near just a harem. And bro got a wife, he got a girl, he got a side chick, he got somebody who called him master, and I just got to a point where he got a cutie pie little cat girl, which that's where I kind of fell asleep on it. Not literally, like not I was missing out on it. Like literally I was watching it and I fell asleep. But that was pretty good. Of course, I caught up with One Piece, so I think I'm 2 episodes back with One Piece. And that whole Kumo arc, for those of y'all who are caught up in watching One Piece, I'm not gonna say nothing. One Piece don't really have spoilers like that, except of course the main spoiler that happened, you know, right before the 2 years, which got spoiled for me long before, almost 20 years before I started watching One Piece, because I just started watching One Piece as like really watching One Piece in 2020 during the Great Miasma, otherwise known as COVID 2020. So I'm caught up with that. We talked about Kaiju number 8. Dan to Dan, I'm 2 episodes behind on Dan to Dan. But season 2 doesn't feel as impactful as season 1. Hopefully it gets better, because they had, like, season 1 had me. Solo Leveling, of course. I finished Solo Leveling. I think I talked about that because one of the last videos I did, and I appreciate all y'all coming out, because I'm trying to bring some series back to the channel and not just be a one-trick pony. I'm sorry, that's my little thing. I got one of these feet things you put your feet on underneath the desk. Oh, and I got hardwood floors in this place, so it's not carpet, but I kind of wish I did have carpet. I'm going to get a whole bunch of rugs because, for one, you scratch up these things, I don't want to be paying for nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? Also, I got to sweep all the time and wipe shit up. And so, the other great one that I've been watching is Apothecary Diaries. I really enjoyed that. Mao Mao is a girl of my own heart. I I like when they give a strong-willed but still feminine female character, and it's not just based off of, like, she knows her limitations and she's aware of her surroundings and she's sarcastic. For those of y'all who don't know, I have like everybody they say they got a type. My type and trope is I really like women with glasses. That's like this sarcastic, like geek or nerd type person. You know, a Velma, a Boma, a Gadget, a Felicity from Arrow. For those of y'all remember Arrow. I do like Tifa and Orihime, of course. But I do like those witty comeback characters where it's like they keep you on your toes. I really like that. And also shout out to my man Vegeta, who's winning at life. And I argue he's winning more than Goku. For one, why? He's married to Bulma. Like, come on. Like, seriously. That's why I still wasn't on my favorite game, which is Chrono Trigger. I want to see Chrono with Luca, and I'm still thinking about one day doing like a little mini RPG maker game just to explore that theory, and then have Meryl. I almost call that girl Marley, and I don't like when people call her Marley, but Meryl, I'll just always call her Meryl, end up with Frog, because if y'all played the game and you seen how Frog was with Lynn, like, did they got something going on? So who made him turn back into a human? Maiden's kiss, right? Well, you get a kiss from a princess, right? Right? Well, guess who kissed him? Was it Lynn who got a husband? I don't think so. But that's my theory, that Meryl kissed Frog, and I would use that. Also, the Brilliant Healers of New Life. I'm like 7 or 8 episodes in that. And then Freeman. I see why a lot of people are upset. Like, I voted for both of them, because you could do that with Crunchyroll at their anime awards, and I voted for Freeman, and I voted for all 3, which were really good animes. Dan to Dan season 1, Solo Leveling season 2, and Freeman. But Freeman takes place, it's just so refreshing, and it's a really great take on anime that we don't get a lot. You know, from the music, from the aesthetic, from the feel. It feels like a breath of fresh air. Like, literally, if you guys haven't watched Freeman and you like anime and you like RPGs, which more than likely you hear because of one or two, that's where you can feel that, like, that hero's journey with an elf that can live 1,000 years and really doesn't have the concept of time, because she lives so long that 10 years, or the lifespan of a normal human, even dwarfs who live like 300 to 500 years, is brief to her. So to see that point of view and see why she didn't want to take an apprentice, because she looks like, the time is nothing to her. It's relative. This is refreshing to see her new take in the things that she's learned from the past that carries over into the future. And not to be remiss, I really have fell in love with Quintana Brunson, and I love that girl. Miss Q, that's what I call her. I finally went back and started watching Abbott Elementary, and I caught up with Abbott Elementary, and I wish that I had started sooner, but I'm glad that I didn't, because the romance on that damn show legit took too many seasons. But it kept you anticipating. You know what's gonna happen, but you're just like, damn, when is it gonna happen? So you go through 48 or 56 something episodes, and then when it happens, you're like, okay, it does feel rewarding. So I am anxious to see what season 5 is gonna be, and I think it's coming out in October. But now for the meat and potatoes, which you want to say that wasn't the meat and potatoes. My schedule. So what I've been doing, and what I took a good week to map out my entire schedule. Many of y'all know that I bulk my content, and that's how I had so much content in one point in time for like 3-4 months, and then it just went blank right around the time I was getting ready to prepare to move, which was around the end of April. When I was like IRL start going into my content stuff, and I didn't have the time to rebulk all my other ideas and everything, so I just been writing them down. So I'm not gonna tell y'all the whole everything, but I will say I have content from this month in August all the way up into the new year. And one of the things that I'm going to explore here the most, and it's actually helped me out a lot, is even though I'm calling a lot of new videos geek news, what I want it to be is news. However, it's a conversation. I want it to be more of a conversation and a discussion piece in my or an opinion-based news segment. Why? One, because it's hard as hell to try to be concurrent with news, and something comes out every day. Like Monday with my return video, the whole Mario simping. Like Nintendo should be ashamed of itself making this man a grown-ass simp for 40 years. You know, and Bowser out here playing Pinochle with Peach at the castle and swooping her to his castle. Excuse me. See, look at Mario coming for me. I'm talking crap about it. But I want, even though that's older stuff that happens, I want it to be more of my opinion, because I got a different opinion than a lot of people have. Matter of fact, I actually have more of a weird opinion about things that people usually don't. Like, again, I believe Zelda's an RPG. I think Jujutsu Kaisen's mid. Piccolo ain't black. I liked it. Final Fantasy Rebirth. That was my game of the year, and I stand by it. So a lot of my opinions differ from the mainstream. I think, and I'm gonna get into that in later videos too, Expedition 33 is not the greatest game of all time, and it's a little bit overrated. Music is great, combat is good, story and characters, I don't know, pacing, I don't know. So what eventually I'm going to start, I have this tendency to try to do so much, but what I'm going to be doing, which is why originally I was supposed to redrop archives. And first of all, shout out to everybody who came to see. I did that for a whole year for the 7-hour block, and then I started back doing 12 hours every Saturday, but I work on the weekends. So I wasn't even there to be able to see and watch my whole thing for 12 hours. So let alone seeing somebody else, other people doing it, I just couldn't, I understood it. So what I am going to do, and I got a suggestion from a couple friends and stuff too, and other creators. And since Archives is based off of Toonami, it's just the RPG version of Toonami, I'm going to use that Toonami format, and I'm going to make it 3 hours Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. PST to 7 p.m. PST, which is Pacific Standard Time out here in the West Coast. And I'm going to, it's going to be 5 shows per week, or per day, excuse me, per day, and it's just going to be live. So I have a program where I'm able to upload videos and they go live. So I'm going to utilize that. And on Sundays, eventually, so I'm jumping ahead of myself. So for right now, as y'all see, the schedule's just as is for right now. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is going to be Geek News. On Tuesday, Who's That Black Person? I moved that back to Tuesdays because it just felt like it fit on Tuesdays. I don't know why. I have a format in my head how I want things to be, and I guess I don't like to talk about it all the time, but then again, in hindsight, I guess it's better to talk about it, so then y'all know what the hell's going on, or what I'm talking about, or what, you know, I have a point of reference to point you back to what's going on. Monday, it's gonna be games, news. Wednesdays are going to alternate by week. So one week, like it was this week, is an anime segment on news. Then the next following week will be a like entertainment, whether it's comics or a movie or it's some kind of show or something like that. And then Friday is going to be like RPG and gaming news again. Like I'm still going to keep the essence of what helped my channel get over the hump, which was RPGs. But I also want to go back to the namesake, which Geek means games, entertainment, anime, and comedy, with a K. So by me doing that, that still gives me the flexibility to keep the integrity of the channel and be able to still vent and talk about anime and what other pop culture animation or, you know, other entertainment type news and segments and topics for discussion will be. Because I used to do a whole bunch of, like, one time I remember doing news and stuff, and then I had like 4 or 5 anime things in a week, and I looked at my analytics, I'm like, that ain't working. I gotta balance it out. And then when the archives does come into play eventually, which I'm going to move that to next month, the Monday through Friday Toonami Light block. And the reason why, because I'm still in the process of getting everything the way I want it here in my place. And again, work, life, situations, I can't do everything. So I didn't want to wait too long and just not make any more content, you know what I mean? And then just wait and be like, I'll drop everything at once. I figured, let me go back with my setup, which is the Monday through Friday, which each day you guys are going to be getting some content. And on Thursdays, it's going to be like a variety video. And the variety video is going to basically be like either a just chatting, or it's going to be a video where it's going to be like either a parody, or I have different series that, let me just tell y'all a few of the series that I have been working on or I want to put on. And I did have a list of everything here. Hold on, let me get to, where is that at? It is, okay, damn, I hadn't worked on that list since July 24th. That was over a week ago. Is this, no, that's not even the one. Where is it? It is, that's Twitch commands. I'm looking for, okay, here it is, the 2025 video list idea. So, you guys remember I was doing Geek Theater, but I was spamming Geek Theater. And a lot of times, like I was mentioned earlier in the video, by me spamming it, every Tuesday at the time, I was having a Geek Theater. And while some of them did good, some of them didn't. And I mean, that's just YouTube. That's how certain things go. And I did like doing that. But what happened was, I'd rather have it where it's an event rather than just there every week, you know. So on Thursdays is when you're going to see either a Geek Theater, a parody, or just chatting, which I already told y'all is going to be quarterly for this. A geek idea, bad idea. So I actually have some of those I've been working on in the backdrop. I'm going to do the top list, so like the top 5 this, top 5 anime, top 5 games, top 5 world map sounds, top 5 characters, kind of two for Final Fantasy, top 5 snub things, you know, those kind of lists. Quiz time. I will be doing like a quiz video. That's going to be a series. The world's most geekiest man. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I drink wine. See, I went back. Yeah, see? And then Anime in 5, which we just seen the solo leveling one. So I do have some other ones. I want to do an Anime in 5 for Dan to Dan, and then Free Ren, Otaku and Chill. I've only did 2 Otaku and Chills, and I love doing that, but it was just the work that was, you know, involved and included with that. So that's why I didn't want to do that. Another new series, it's a couple of new series, 3 of them to be precise, that I want to start, and it's going to be versus. So think about, like, you know, the death battles or those battles that folks used to do, like Cloud versus Link. Well, not only will it be like a thing like that for character versus character, but I'm even going to do genres. So for instance, the Wii U versus the Sega Saturn. What was the better system? Well, one of my favorite topics is, I can give you guys the topic, but I'm not going to go into great detail with it. Octopath Traveler, the series, versus Triangle Strategy, the series. So things like that. Then the late great Kobe, I'll mention him again. He had a program on ESPN, I'm going to say about 2016, 2017, around the time right after he retired, called Detail. So I started a thing called Geek Tale, and it'll be like 1 to 2 minutes, and I can also break that down to a short as well, and discuss certain details into games that, you know, are highlighted. Like, one of my favorite elements about Final Fantasy Rebirth was, even though you didn't get a chance to have more than 3 characters in your party, the other remaining characters sometimes will throw things and you can see them doing different things, or they'll say stuff. And also the fact that the characters followed you around, I really liked it. That so those are like, it'll be something like in that in that, you know, that vein. And then a what if series, just like, you know, Marvel's What If. Well, what if Naruto and Sakura ended up together? That kind of, you know, that kind of thing. What if Aerith didn't die? You know, these are just off the top of my head, but it's going to be that kind of series. And then I even have like a theme for it, because I was writing down the theme when I was doing the schedule. You know, I'm the tab king. I always have a whole bunch of tabs. I got monitors, so I always have all these tabs everywhere. And so I was writing down that, and it would be like space, time. You know, I have my little silhouette or something in the background, and that'll be like the intro of it. We already talked about Otaku and Chill, what you should be role playing. I'll just split that into a series. So sometimes I'm gonna talk about multiple games in a month, and then what it'll be in that video. And then other times I'll just have like a preview or impression of, like, for example, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. Geek's Court, I did one of those. I do want to find like everything for me that makes it easy. If I have a template, and then I can plug and play the new videos or the new video clip, the B-roll stuff in, and just take it out. Just chatting, what we're doing. Geek Busters, that was a new one. It's highlighted because it's a new one, and I'll just go talk about like different things or myths or something that were debunked. I might even get a homie or something to do that with, and see if they interested in stuff, and then we need to make it like something put in front of the green screen and stuff. And as you've seen, I'm gonna start using the green screen a lot more. And then the jukebox. The jukebox, I got my first copyright strike about 2 years ago. Speaking of Octopath Traveler, and that was because I was doing it before I got monetized, and then when I got monetized, Square Enix hit me and took down 3 of my videos that were my extended play videos. And I used to always wonder why people don't do extended play videos. Well, the reason why they don't is because, well, I didn't really have, and it was my fault because I didn't have any other music or not music, but any other decal. It was just like a screen with a picture of the Octopath cast and just the music, and the game just dropped. So they was not having it. So thankfully they removed it. That was a couple of years ago, they removed that strike. So since then I decided, like, I'm not gonna go that route with everything. So what the jukebox is going to be entailed now are a lot of the videos from the archives, the openings, and they do pretty good. The openings, I just cut those out, mash those together and edit those to kind of fit the way I want the openings to look. So basically you're thinking like an anime opening, but it's for an RPG, since archives is, you know, like Tsunami, like a show. So I'm gonna put those on there, and then even some games that I don't have in the archives yet, I'm gonna do the same thing for that. So stay ready, so I gotta get ready. So when I do bring some of those games over, then we already got the openings ready. And as far as the archives goes, those is gonna be by a theme. So every day there's gonna be a different theme. We're gonna have main quest Mondays, so it's gonna be main quest type games, you know, long hours, Xenoblades, Metaphor, Ray Fantasio type games, Chrono Trigger, Skyward Sword. I'm just naming some. These are going to be the actual schedule for it now. But a few other games will be on there. Tactical Tuesdays, Waifu Wednesdays, where it's going to be games, either it's a lead protagonist that's a female, or it's one of these games like how Grand Blue Fantasy is, or even Ayuden Chronicles, where you can basically make a whole party, or you can go out seeking a whole bunch of the waifus, and we know how Grand Blue was with the waifus. And then it's going to be turn-based Thursdays, which is, well, it's turn-based Thursdays, and then Fantasy Fridays. So games, there's going to be a lot of Final Fantasies or Last Stories, Fantasians, those kind of games, Expedition 33. It'll be a lot of games which have like this fantasy, real heavy focused fantasy, background for it. And so those again are going to be pushed to September, because I was supposed to launch it this Monday on August 4th, but like I said, for time restraints and just so I can get a handle on everything, also mainly so I can make, which I have a lot of them. I'm gonna start airing them either later this week or next week. I'll start, which I have bumpers and promos for each video. So very Tomish, very Cartoon Network / Tsunami. So look forward to that. I'm really trying to make a whole geekmosphere, a whole atmosphere in space, where I'm the captain, and Akasha, and the Bot Bruh and my ship, the Outcast, are all entities. So think about, you know, like Mozart and what was it, Drac, Brak, and Space Ghost. So it'll be that kind of theme where I have that kind of comedic flair through the bumpers and stuff, to give it that Tsunami feel. And I even got a homie that's dropping a few beats for me for it. And then of course I'm gonna credit my man for it. So then it can give it that Tsunami vibe and feel, which a lot of you already said it has. So I'm really trying to get it more to that way, and I really feel that it's going to be better this way because it's going to be live, and you can easily sit for 3 hours with 5 shows and just watch it. And included in it is going to be bumpers and commercials, and from the triple OG commercials from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, content creators, other content creators that I like and follow. Mainly my folks, you know, I gotta support my brothers and sisters out here. We don't get enough love out here in this content space, or this geekdom and medium space. So it'll be a very big focus and a highlight on other black folk, African American content creators, and just creators in general, from comics to anime, video games, indie studios and stuff like that, that are promoting and linked to their, you know, their entities, so they can get a different spotlight on it. And then I'll even sprinkle in my own bumpers and videos and different things in there, because the problem with that was I ended up going 5 shows. I could have went 6, but then that would go over. So I wanted to hit that 3 hours, so I had to maximize the time by inserting other bumpers and stuff. But the way I have it designed, it's going to be fresh. So instead of me doing, well, this show starts at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock and this one's 4:30, the show starts at 4, the programming starts at 4, and then next it'll be this show, then next it'll be that show, and then it'll be that show. So that's how I'm going to work with that. Also, it makes it easier for when I'm in post-production and I'm, you know, got to do the voice acting and stuff for it and stuff, so I can easily just pull and plug certain shows and things without having to go back and number everything and redo everything, which is, it takes a time and a half to do. As far as streaming, I'm not going to be streaming here, at least for the near foreseeable future, over on YouTube here. I'm going back to exclusively streaming on Twitch for 2 reasons. 3. 1, I always like the functionality as far as streaming is better. I like the way the layout is, even though Twitch is a hard place to try to grow without any other YouTube or TikTok or other things. And eventually I do want to stream on TikTok. I want to test how the archives does on TikTok eventually. And then I might have to upgrade my service with Upstream, the one that does the live videos, the pre-recorded live videos. But I'm just going to be focusing on Twitch as far as streaming, and that's going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'm going back to my triple OG schedule with that. And at least initially, it's only going to be a couple hours. Sometime it'll probably be longer, but I still got to work, still got to do other things, and still balance the other parts of the content. Wednesdays or every other Wednesday, what I'm going to be doing is working on my own personal game again on live. So a lot of y'all like that, and I appreciate y'all sliding through and dealing with me for a lot of the tedious work. So a lot of that might be a longer video on Wednesday, and I'm usually off from both my jobs on Wednesday, so that's good. So I can focus and be more working on that for hours. It's going to take hours upon hours upon hours. And then when I'm not doing that, what I would do is, I might even like thinking about doing maybe a manga reading every now and again, because like Rent a Girlfriend, I want to finish that up, even though I kind of know what's going to happen now. But I also want to start playing other RPG maker creator games. One of the homies who streams on Twitch, and he used to stream on YouTube all the time, he gave me that suggestion a while back, and I see he grew his channel by doing that. He streams and plays and reviews RPG Maker games. So I'm going to do that, not all the time, but sometimes, depending on the workload or the week, I'm going to do that. Now, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals lately, so trying to get their Blades coming out next week or this week. This week. I think come on the 8th. So tomorrow. So I will be playing that tomorrow. So it's gonna alternate on Fridays. Sometime I'm gonna play, it's gonna be a Fantasy Friday. I'm gonna play I'm gonna start the first Suikoden. Because I don't want the first one to be on archives. I want the second one to be on archives. However, the first one, I want it to carry over to the second one, so I have to beat the first one first. So we'll be playing that over on Twitch under the Geek Show, at the Geek Show. Same title, same name. That's why I changed YouTube from Geek to the Geek Show, so they can all match. And then the next Friday will be like Marvel Rivals, and then I'll alternate them. Mondays is going to be still Mario Kart Monday. I need to get my black ass back to the 3%. And also, not everybody's still even, it's crazy, they're trying to near 6 million units being sold at this point or something like that for Switch 2. All the shit people talking about it, and everybody's still buying it. But so I want the Switch or the Mondays to be like, if I play Mario Kart World, or like a Nintendo based game, maybe I do get Donkey Kong Bonanza, or like a family friendly game kind of thing. Maybe some, which I also have on the schedule eventually to, I almost said Star Fox Assault. What's that game? The one that everybody says is like Star Fox Assault, the Battle for Atlas, I think it's called, where you can play as Fox and the crew and stuff. So I want to play that. I think it's only remote play. One of my homegirls was telling me that you can play like dual players or multiple players. But even if that's the case, I'll play that, like on a Monday, and then the Mario Kart. By that time, the time everybody, the rest of the world gets a Switch 2, I should be solid at Mario Kart, even though I haven't been playing probably as much as I should be. So this month, that's what the schedule is going to be. The 3 things on Twitch. Geek News Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesdays, Who's That Black Person? Variety on Thursday. And then next month, through the Monday through Friday at 4, I'm going to be introducing archives again. So on my schedule, all I have to do is just push back, because I have a spreadsheet, just push back those things to September instead of August. Which again, that's gonna give me time and the freedom to build up more shows and cut things and do what I need to do in post-production instead of stressing and you know, and putting grays in my beard. More grays than are already there now. But eventually, either it's going to be September or October, I'm going to introduce the Geek Show, which is going to be like my signature show, which is, I've talked about from many years ago, and I did one or two, which is going to be basically like a Space Ghost Coast to Coast show, where it's going to be like 30 minutes on, that's going to be on Sundays. It'll be live, pre-recorded live, and the same thing, and then eventually, either that's going to be the next following month, I'm going to introduce Geek Talk again, which is going to be the podcast. So what eventually the schedule before the probably year's end is going to look like is Sunday, the Geek Show, which will be a combination of the Geek News and my parodies and guest in it for 30 minutes. So think like, remember Trevor Noah's, you know, the Daily Show and Space Coast to Coast with Eric Andre, so I ain't getting naked on YouTube. It's going to be like that kind of thing, about 30 minutes. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Geek News. Tuesday and Thursday, the Variety and Who's That Black Person, along with archives, Monday through Friday. And Saturday are going to be Geek Talk. And that's going to be like every other Saturday. So that's the plan. I know that's ambitious. That's crazy. I've been talking for over an hour, and that's raudonkulous. And I appreciate any of y'all who made this far to listen to me ramble. Maybe you driving to work, you're doing what you're doing, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you just moved and you just unpacking, whatever the case. Much love. I appreciate you. Stay tuned. We're still on this grind. I'm going for, I feel I can get the 5K by the end of the year. So what I'm going to do is say, let's go for hashtag 10K by the end of the year. And I can't say it can't happen. You know, believe it or not, my 10-year anniversary is coming up next year. I can't believe it. It would be beautiful, chef's kiss, geek's kiss, if I was able to hit that 10K before my 10-year anniversary, which is in April of next year, but technically February of next year. But I didn't make my first video, which was ironically My Hero Academia. And then it was the Nintendo Switch, talking about the NX, which I still like that name more than the Switch. And this one should have been called the Super Switch. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate it. I got some thumbnails to make. It's nighttime, but I still got to do some work. I will holler at y'all on the next one. You know the drill. If you did like this video, do me a favor and make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out the channel a lot, and so does watching this long video. I might even cut the video into different segments, you know, give little timestamps, which, you know, help navigate through it. So, you know, in case you don't want to listen to me ramble on about everything, you just want to get to the meat and potatoes of what I'm talking about. And don't forget to subscribe if you already haven't. I have returned. I will be doing my best not to have any gaps like this ever again, and I had to take 2 months off in 2021, and 2 for this. 1 was to build Akasha. This one was, well, to restart my life. That's the extra drama. But moving and doing everything else, that takes a lot of IRL energy out of you. But I'm back. I'm gonna be doing my best to make sure I have some consistent content for y'all, so don't forget to check it out. I'll probably post my schedule either on Discord. I need to get on there more. I need to get on there more, so then it's a point of reference where you guys will know what show's coming out and what series and what's happening that particular day. But that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate you again, and as always, remember to eat, geek, sleep, repeat. holler at you on the next one. Peace.